We're going to show you the waterfall, and then we'll go see the...
Down on the farm in southeastern Franklin County may be the last place Rachelle L'Ecuyer thought she'd be when her career started some 30 years ago.
There are a lot of gates here.
In November of 2022, L'Ecuyer became a full-time partner of the Pierce Creek Cattle Company in the town of Lonedell. But before we get a look around and meet the livestock, there's a bit of unpacking to explain how the St. Louis area native came to live the city and the rural life at the same time.
So how did today go?
Today was fabulous.
Back in 2013, producer Catherine Neville introduced us to L'Ecuyer when she was Director of Community Development for the city of Maplewood. Neville caught up with her during the Maplewood Coffee Crawl, one of many events L'Ecuyer organized to support and market the city's small businesses.
With these smaller businesses, they don't have the time to set up their business, take care of their marketing, do all the things they need to do. So we kind of try to set that up so that at least takes that burden off of them. They don't have to sit down and write that extra check.
After more than a dozen years in that position, L'Ecuyer became executive director of the Delmar Loop. It was around that time she started traveling to Lonedell on weekends with partner and real estate developer Kent Evans. His parents owned a farm there.
You know, my parents told us one weekend, they said, you should come out to the farm and visit with us. And we were like, okay. And then they said, you know, if you guys are interested in doing anything here at the farm, then you should probably start on Monday. And so that was, when we're like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
You know.
But they kind of been, you know, training us for a couple years. We were helping them a lot more than we had. And, you know, Ken's mom, Judy, she's a master gardener, and she created these lovely beds around the farmyard. And, you know, every spring we would come out and she would show me things, and she was giving me a lot of information about them. And I was like, this is like more information than I need. But it turned out it was all the information that I needed. So, you know, they were a little tricky about it, but we were poised for it. And,
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't have to have I didn't come kicking and screaming. I was like,
Right.
it's just so beautiful out here, and I just, you know, I love being here.
Kent Evans' great-grandparents settled on the property in 1943 after his great-grandfather retired from Union Electric.
They spent another 30-some years working out in electric, and when they moved out here, they didn't have electricity. So they used the spring, several springs that are here on the property, and they used that as their refrigerator, and they would just float things in there that needed to be refrigerated. And I guess he lobbied for electricity, and, you know, eventually they got electricity out here. So we always work with them so that they're gentle.
The farm, now known as the Pierce Creek Cattle Company, offers pasture-raised beef, grass-fed or grain-finished, with no added hormones or unnecessary antibiotics. The age-old practice of rotational grazing, moving the cows among different sections of acreage, keeps both the animals and the land healthy.
Yeah, even though it looks like there's a lot of grass in this field, we are done here. That's right.
And I'm cooking bolognese, and I'm doing all.
The cattle company's commercial customers include Chef Jim Fiala, owner of The Crossing in downtown Clayton. He took us to his kitchen to show one of the ways he prepares grass-fed and grain-finished beef. His seasonings for these steaks are simple: salt and pepper.
One of the good things about this, the beef, is that there's enough fat in here that I don't have to add anything on top of it. So I can just put it on the grill, I season the grills, and then they'll be fine.
The steaks are grilled to medium rare. Fiala's business relationship with Rachelle L'Ecuyer began in Maplewood, where his other restaurant, Achero, is located.
And then I saw her on LinkedIn one day that she was working with Pierce Creek, and I was like, what? So I reached out to her, and then we started working together.
For beef eaters who prefer it ground and in a bun, the cattle company serves up smash burgers from its food truck, the Mobile. During a weekend in August, we found Evans, L'Ecuyer, and the Mobile in Tower Grove Park for Food Truck Friday.
Now the farm and the beef business and the food truck, they are all 80-hour-a-week jobs.
We have a great blue heron, likes to fish right here.
But they take refuge by the flowing waters of the Pierce Creek, after which the cattle company is named.
Wow, it's a soft-shelled turtle.
They recharge and reflect on the work of those individuals who feed us all.
Farmers, I would say, are the original small business owner. And it's just very complicated, and I don't think people give farmers enough credit in just the things that they're dealing with. You know, if there's a drought, then everything changes. So it's
all long-term planning.
It's all long-term planning. We're in that situation where we're long-term planning.
For Living St. Louis, I'm Ruth Ezel.